it's actually raining on and off today. Actually made me wonder with all this virus stuff whether or not the rain is actually good. Because with all that stuff about saying, oh, this thing can stay within like the air and so forth, like for X amount of time, I think technically the rain should wash it all away, correct? It's like, this is one of those times where people says, where's all the Vancouver rain? This pandemic stuff is basically affecting you regardless of what part of the world you're in. And I guess this is one of the big ones today. It says basically here, Tokyo 2020 Olympics postponed. IOC official says. The 2020 Tokyo Olympics will not go down as scheduled on July 24th. An IOC official just announced. International's Olympic Committee member Dick Pound says that they have officially decided to postpone the games in light of the COVID-19 global pandemic. Can you imagine how big of an impact that is, just financially, for example, for the city hosting the games? You plan all this, millions of dollars and all that, just to have this delayed? Man, that's kind of crazy to think about. Although apparently many places, including here, were saying they're not sending their athletes over to the games if they insisted, I guess, in going ahead with it. Like it says here, remember, both Canada and Australia said they would not send players to Tokyo to compete if the games were not postponed. Saying, quote, with COVID-19 and the associated risks, it's not safe for our athletes and the health and the safety of their families and the broader Canadian community for athletes to continue training towards these games. And for here, they said they're basically reducing transit services too, mainly because there's less people using it, obviously, and it's probably very costly to them financially, which makes you think too, because the point actually came up. With less transit going around, if people actually need to use it for whatever reason, technically that'll increase, I guess, more odds of people being close to each other because there's less of the transit available. So that's kind of, I guess, odd in that sense. I guess with that said, there was this message from the Prime Minister today, like of here in Canada, basically telling people to take, I guess, the situation seriously. It says here, enough is enough. Go home and stay home. Prime Minister Trudeau once again told Canadians to practice physical distancing after social media post shows residents ignoring the warnings. So you can basically see this video speech he had.
Social distancing, physical distancing, is the single best way to keep the people around you safe. What does that mean? It means keeping 2 meters between yourself and someone else. It means avoiding groups. It means staying home as much as possible. If you choose to ignore that advice, if you choose to get together with people or go to crowded places, you're not just putting yourself at risk, you're putting others at risk too. We've all seen the pictures online of people who seem to think they're invincible. Well, you're not. Enough is enough. Go home and stay home. This is what we all need to be doing. And we're going to make sure this happens, whether by educating people more on the risks or by enforcing the rules, if that's needed. Nothing that could help is off the table.
Again, no official lockdown or anything federally yet, but it just seems like for the most part, I think open spaces just seems okay. It's mostly things like beaches and stuff, just from my observation, that has most of the people. I guess like an example here, would you say people who are doing like an exercise on one spot, basically away from everyone else, is basically dangerous? Like they should do that at home? Or would you say it's better that they go out there, or it's okay, so to speak? I guess on a lighter note, this was kind of expected to happen with some people being on a quarantine and lockdown where they can't leave their homes and all that. You basically expect someone to fly their drone, just in general, maybe to capture scenery, but how about this one? It says, Brooklyn guy uses drone to hit on a gal during coronavirus lockdown. So apparently from what I gathered with this story, because he's locked up, he saw, I guess, a girl, he says, out of his window, like dancing. I guess he thought she was cute. And because they can't exactly go out, exchange numbers and stuff like that, from what I gather, he decided to fly his drone over to the girl and I guess leave his number and stuff with something attached to it. This thoroughly modern day could-be love story started when he waved to her and she waved back, so he decided to take it a step further. I thought she was really cute from far away, Cohen tells the Post. During this quarantine, I think everyone is fiending for social interaction. I was like, oh my god, a girl! I haven't seen one for so long. They could hear each other, so he told her to stay put because he was going to send her something. He wrote his number on a piece of paper, taped it to his drone, and flew it to the cute brunette. Cohen admitting that flirting is normally daunting for him, but he also says he's a hopeless romantic. 2020 has been off to a terrible start, but I still needed to shoot my shot. She picked up my drone and I guess it worked, he says in the video. The girl in the video, 28 years old Tori Cinderella, texted him that night, but this is where their story comes to a temporary halt. So who knows what will happen, although I just can't help to think about things like those over-the-top regulations for stuff like this. Oh no, you're flying near a person now. You attach something to the drone. In my opinion, for stuff like this, it should be okay in general. That's like pumpkin seeds or something? I think I distracted the guy from hunting a mate, so to speak. He was chasing that, I guess, squirrel. Look at me, stop. Oh, it's him. Alright, see you guys later.